Welcome back, GG family. This is episode 1 of a brand new grow series for the Medic Grow Mini Sunlight. And in this grow series, we're also going to be testing a brand new system called Aircube from GrowAce. This system is supposed to be the hybrid of all automated watering systems, being able to use many different types of medium. I will be using a peat-based medium, and we'll cover how I'm going to use this to self-water later in other episodes. This episode is purely just an unboxing, so sit back, relax, and enjoy another GG review.
Introducing the revolutionary Aircube Active Oxygen Hydroponic System. The only system on the market that combines the benefits of air pruning fabric pots with a fully automated ebb and flow system. Air pruning occurs when the roots penetrate through the breathable fabric. Once penetrated, the roots are exposed to air, which causes the tips of the root to dehydrate and naturally prune itself. This pruning process stimulates lateral fibrous feeder roots to grow vigorously, resulting in an incredible root structure that delivers the highest yields of any system on the market. Set the Aircube system to be fully automated. Just fill your reservoir with nutrient-rich water and allow the advanced brain controller to automatically feed and hydrate your plants. Once filled and plants fed, the water automatically drains through the bucket's revolutionary bottom-lifted draining design. Drawing water out of the buckets pulls vital oxygen into your plant's root system. Oxygen helps your plants grow healthier and more vigorous. This is because, on a molecular level, oxygen helps roots take in more water, absorb more nutrients, and prevent toxins from building. Enjoy the benefits of a fully modular and expandable system. With the Aircube 6-site expansion kit, expand your system to 12 sites or 24 sites or an incredible 36 sites with one system.
While I do some unboxing here, I'm going to let you know what's going to happen in this series. We're of course going to cover the Aircube system along with the Medic Grow Smart 8 Lite in a 4x4 space. Now, we're going to be doing something called Pineapple Wars. I have Pineapple Express autos from 2 different breeders, and we're going to see who does the best. So first, we'll jump in to the unboxing and how to set up this res tank. Now, me personally, I will not be using this res tank. I personally have some stigmatism for collapsible tanks. So if you are using your own tank as well and you're watching this for a setup video, you can go ahead and skip this part. But as you see, you're attaching one grommet to the stick, putting the other through the top, attaching it in the middle, and then sliding it right into the bottom lip at the bottom of each end. There's 3 of them at the bottom of this res tank from GrowAce Aircube system. Next is to go ahead and lock in these bars, removing the grommet, pushing in the bar, and just twisting the provided cap onto the tank. There's also a larger gasket that comes with it that has 2 rings on each side. Put this larger piece on the outside after wrapping it with the tape that is provided. Then simply stick this into the hole in the res tank, taking the other nut and gasket and just simply hand tightening it on. This is the only nut that actually tightens backwards, so it's lefty, righty, righty, loosey. Just hand tighten this, and after, go ahead and grab the provided hose attachment, also taping this and screwing it in. Again, I will not be using this res, but this is how you would set it up. We're going to go ahead and start with a dry fit, I'll call it. Just simply laying out the system, kind of seeing where everything is going to sit. You want to go ahead and flip all your buckets over and grab the gasket and the Y splitters. There are some L's, but they recommend you try not to use these, and we'll go over that a bit later. So you want to go ahead and take the gasket, making sure the smoother nipple side, I'll call it, is facing on the bottom of the pot, as you see here. But also, even when you think you have the gasket in, sometimes it can be a little off center on the inside. I'll show you what I mean here. The outside looked in, but you can see how the gasket is kind of pinched on the inside. Just simply put your finger in and just make sure that that is sealed as well. And then afterwards, we can go ahead and take the T-brackets and just insert them, pushing all the way down, ensuring you're fully sealing it. And we're going to repeat this across all the pots, and I will get right back to you. As you see here, all the T's and gaskets are in, and we'll go ahead and unbox the brain. Inside the brain controlling unit, you'll find 2 pumps, hoses, and a bag of different connectors and gaskets. Now, in that bag, there should be rubber grommets, straight connectors, stoppers, and most importantly, the vacuum brake. We're going to want to put this back in the bag and keep up with that. And on the far right, there is a hole punch. So let's jump into it. To start, we're going to go ahead and get these rubber grommets into all 6 holes on the bottom of the brain controller system. And there we go. After that, we're going to go ahead and put them into the top of the brain controller lid. There's 2 holes, which will be a fill and a drain, and we'll cover those in a minute. But we want to go ahead, get these rubber grommets put in. Now we're going to go ahead and install straight connectors and stoppers. How many stoppers you're going to put into your brain is going to depend on how many pots you're running. In this case, I will be running a 12-pot system. The standard one is a 6-pot system, and I'll show you here the diagram that would determine what sides you would plug and how many you would plug. This book comes with every GrowAce system, so definitely make sure you read yours well. And as you see, depending on how many you're hooking up, it can definitely depend on how many stoppers you're putting in. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up for a 12-pot system. So I'll start by putting in these straight connectors, pushing them all the way in, making sure they seat, which can be hard here with one hand, so you'll see some pausing in between the video. I'm repeating this same process of putting in stoppers and straight pipes on the other side of the brain as well. Now I'm doing a 6-pot unit, so I'm going to go ahead and set up one side of them. So as you see here, I have this one in the fill line, which then connects through all the T's, making a loop. Again, you can use the L brackets, but they recommend a loop. And then it's going to come back in to the drain line of this side of the system. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this on the other side, flip these pots over, and we'll get into some other stuff. And when cutting the tubing, just cut right in the center of the L connector, and it'll be just about right as long as you have your pots where you want them. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut that last hose I was talking about, which is the empty line, and go ahead and connect that in as well. And there we go. That's one side of my 12-pot system set up and ready to go. We'll go ahead, get the other side done, and flip over the pots. And here we are with the pots and the brain connected. We only have one more step here, and that is getting water in and out of this system. So as you see here, both sides are hooked up exactly the same. So that is why I didn't show both sides. It's the same hookup, just on a different side. Remember, if you're doing a 6-pot, it could be different than what I'm doing here, which is the 12-pot. So definitely check the manual. Make sure you're setting up things right, and we'll go ahead and jump over to how we're going to set up the rest of the brain to communicate with our water reservoir and our pots. So let's jump into that. We're going to go ahead and start by taking our straight connectors from our package of connectors before and just placing the straight connector right into the top of the brain, as you see here, going out the other end. And we'll go ahead and start getting some piping connected. But first, we want to get our pump. So we're going to grab our pump, twist on the largest connector that comes with the pump. Really, there's no other way to do it. The rest just won't fit. You'll know when you find the right one. So after that, we want to definitely flip over the unit, and don't forget to put these little feet on. I won't say why I know this, but just don't forget to put the little feet on. So we're going to go ahead and place that pump into the bottom of the brain. There is 2 pumps. We are just working with one for now. So after placing it into the bottom and making sure it's fully sealed, we're going to go ahead and plug this one into our drain pump. The one on the bottoms. The arrows don't really line up 100%, but there's only 2 plugs. The bottom is your drain plug. So now we're going to go ahead and attach a hose from the pump to the bottom of that straight gasket, as you see here. And mine's a bit long, so I had to cut it a little bit more because the lid wouldn't quite go on. But that is the principle of this. So after you have your pump and your hose connected to the top lid of the brain, we're going to go ahead and move on to where our next pump goes. So after unboxing the other pump, putting on the large adapter, I'm going to go ahead and take the entire long hose and just connect it right to the pump. And we're going to drop this one into the bottom of our reservoir. There will be a little air trapped in the pump, so you might have to force it down there. But after you have your pump in your reservoir, we're going to take this hose and we're going to cut it so that it attaches right to this left side of the brain, which will be our fill pump. So we'll be plugging it into the fill pump. Now that that's connected, we can move back to our drain pump that we connected earlier. We're going to again take a long hose and just connect it to the top of this grommet here. Now that it's connected to the drain pump straight connector, we're going to go ahead and again take our loose hose. We're going to drop it in, but we're going to be cutting this hose so it's right above the little water line. But always start with more than you need. You can always cut more, you can't add more. Now that I've cut it, I went ahead and clamped it just to avoid some water mess. Now on the fill line, the one that has the pump in the reservoir, right below your res line, meaning the height of your res tank, go ahead and puncture a hole using the tool provided, and then use the vacuum brake. You do not want to forget this. Put it on your fill line, the pump that is in the res, and make sure it's facing towards the res downwards, not upwards. And there we go. We're all set up. Like I said before, this is just a setup video, but in the next one, we're going to cover all the brain settings, all the different watering habits you can have with this system. And I'll also mention while we're here on this setup, maybe don't put your res tank on a platform like I did. Definitely some drainage issues, and we'll cover all that in the next video. So definitely make sure you stay tuned for this GrowAce Medic Grow Pineapple Wars video series. As always, guys, I'm excited to get into all this with you and also do some autos. So definitely keep growing happy, healthy plants. If you'd like to buy a GrowAce Aircube system, please use the link in the description to help support this channel. As always, guys, growers love.